Hello students. So today we will deal with a new topic in stress strain chapter only. We call them as elastic constants. Elastic constants. So these elastic constants are nothing but the factors which will help us to determine the deformation based upon the load or stress that is acting on the material. And these elastic constants are within the elastic limit. It obeys the Hooke's law, wherein we say stress is proportional to strain within the elastic limit. So the common elastic constants what we see is Young's modulus, or we also call it as modulus of elastic modulus. I can call elastic modulus. So this is denoted by E, and we have seen this modulus or Young's modulus. E is given by stress divided by strain, and this stress what is acting is due to the normal force. It will be acting perpendicular to the plane. So the second one we see the elastic constant is modulus of rigidity. Modulus of rigidity. We usually abbreviate this by either C or N or G. Any notation can be used here. So this modulus of rigidity is given by shear stress by shear strain. Shear stress by shear strain. Stress we denote by sigma, strain we denote by A. Now here shear stress, I will be using the notation tau. Tau is the shear stress, or I can use it as Q, small q, as the shear stress divided by shear strain. We have seen it is indicated by 5, and we take this as G. I will be using the notation G for modulus of rigidity. So G is given by tau by 5. So this is modulus of rigidity. Shear stress by shear strain. Stress by strain is Young's modulus. Shear stress by shear strain is modulus of rigidity. And what is shear stress? The stress due to the parallel or tangential force. This is the normal force. So the third factor what we see is bulk modulus. Bulk modulus, we abbreviate it as K. This bulk modulus is given by direct stress to volumetric strain. Volumetric strain. So we abbreviate it as Ka. Direct stress we take it as sigma. This is normal stress or direct stress, divided by strain we take it as E. It is volumetric strain, so we will write it as EV. So stress by EV will give the modulus of rigidity, and we know volumetric strain. Linear strain is change in length by original length. Volumetric strain is change in volume by original volume. So we can write delta V by V is nothing but the volumetric strain. We also see the other factor, what we call it as Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio. We abbreviate it as mu, or we write it as by 1 by m. We already seen it is E lat by E longitudinal or linear. Lateral strain by longitudinal or linear strain. This is known as the Poisson's ratio. These things we have seen already. So now here, today we will see how to find out the volumetric strain of a rectangular bar. So these factors will help us in knowing the deformation due to the stresses that are acting on the components. Volumetric strain of a rectangular bar. Size of bar is B by D. If I take the size of the B by D, so let us take a rectangle here. Let L be the length of the rectangle. If it is a cross section, B is the width and D is the depth. So this portion is B and this portion is D. Now this member, if it is subjected to a force P and P along the axis, then you find there will be change in the length, change in the width, change in the depth. So definitely we expect the change in the volume also. We'll see what is the volumetric strain. So volumetric strain is EV. We have seen just now it is change in volume by original volume. We'll determine what is the change in volume taking place and the original volume. So what will be original volume? V. Volume of this rectangle is L into B into D. Then due to the load, it will deform to L plus delta L, B plus delta B and D plus delta D. Generally we will say term as plus. Now here change final volume, if I call it as V1. So this final volume V1 will be equal to L plus delta L into B plus delta B into D plus delta D. D plus delta D. If you multiply these terms, you get value LBD plus BD delta L plus LB delta D plus LD delta B. So LBD is there, delta L, delta D and delta B will be the left out. So this product we get neglecting higher degree portions. So we will neglect the product of higher quantities. We are neglecting the product of higher quantities. So we are left with this. So change in volume, if I call it as delta V, so this is given by final volume minus the initial volume. Now if we subtract these two, so this minus this, so these two gets cancelled. So we are left with here BD delta L plus DL delta B plus LB delta D. So this is a change in volume. So this change in volume, if I divide by original volume, we get volumetric strain. So it is given by delta V by V. So this will be equal to BD delta L plus DL delta B plus LB delta D divided by LB and D. That's original volume. Suppose if I separate out the terms, you get the volumetric strain as EV is equal to delta L by L plus delta B by B plus delta D divided by D. So delta L by L, delta B by B plus delta D by D. And we know this delta L by L is a change in the length or the strain in length plus strain in width plus strain in depth. So this is the volumetric strain of a rectangular bar subjected to load. Now here, if I increase the length, we have seen rubber, if I pull the rubber, width and depth are decreasing. If I push the length or reduce the length, then width and depth are decreasing. One will be positive, the other two will be negative. So this is the volumetric strain of a rectangular bar. Suppose if I want to find out the volumetric strain of circular rod, of radius or d as the diameter. So we see here, we are just now found out volumetric strain of a rectangle is EL plus EB plus ED. So if I go on the same lines as we have got for rectangular bar, for the cylindrical bar, here B and D will be same for the circular part. B and D, it has got diameter, so this will be EL plus twice of strain in diameter, because B and D is nothing but here in form of a circular part D. So this is the formula we will be using for a circular bar. So this is a volumetric strain in case of a circular cylindrical bar. Now we have seen in both the cases the bar is subjected to stress or load in one direction only, in the x direction for example. Now here, if the bar is subjected to forces or stresses in all the three directions, x direction, y direction and z direction, then we will determine the volumetric strain of due to three mutually perpendicular stress system. Or we call it as triaxial stress system. So here if I take a member, and if I take the directions, this is x direction, this is y direction and this is z direction. So this direction is x, this is y and this direction is the z direction. Suppose if it is subjected to stresses sigma x in x direction, sigma y in y direction and sigma z in z direction. So these two are perpendicular to each other. If one side is there, there will be stress on the other side also. If this is sigma y, there will be sigma y. If this is sigma z, behind there will be sigma z. So only I have shown sigma x, sigma y and sigma z are the stress system which are acting on the body. Then the strain, what we see, if I call this as lengthwise, this is depthwise and this is widthwise, because this is the length, this is the width and this is the depth. If I take the three dimensions, I can call it either in terms of x, y, z or L, B, D. So check for the axis that you have chosen. So this is in x direction, means length direction. So this is in vertical is D depth and this inclined is the width of the rectangular member. So if I want to find out the strain in x direction or the strain in the direction of length, both are same, then sigma x divided by E, strain is stress by strain, minus 1 by m sigma y by E minus 1 by m sigma z by E. So this is the equation that you will be using to find out the strain in x direction, wherein the member is subjected to all the three stress systems, sigma x, sigma y, and sigma z. If there are no stresses in y and z direction, we directly get Ex is equal to El is equal to change in length by the strain, Young's modulus. So likewise, Ey will be Ey is vertical, so it is Ed. So this will be sigma y by E. First term remains the same. The other terms will be lateral. So this is 1 by m sigma x by E minus 1 by m sigma z by E. The left out will be with 1 by m. Likewise, Ez, z or in terms of B, Eb, this is given by sigma z by E x, y, z remaining. Other will be in 1 by m, minus 1 by m sigma x by E minus 1 by m sigma y by E. So this is a change. And for rectangular, we have seen volumetric strain EV is equal to EL plus EB plus ED, or it will be EX plus EY plus EZ. We have got all the values. If we add and simplify, you get volumetric strain, which is nothing but change in volume by original volume. This will be equal to 1 minus 2 by m, 1 minus 2 by m into sigma x plus sigma y plus sigma z whole divided by E. Whole divided by E. So you remember this formula to find out the volumetric strain of a rectangular block subject to stresses in all the three directions. If it is tensile, we take it as positive stress. If it is compressive, we take it as the negative stress. So you should be careful here. Here all are tensile in nature, so the values are positive, positive, positive. If one of them, if I take it as compressive, so this sigma y is compressive, so this sign will become negative. So depending upon whether tensile or compressive, the stresses will be tensile stresses or compressive stresses. So you should use correctly the values for getting the volumetric strain. So once you know volumetric strain, you can find out what is the change in the volume that is taking place. Now this change in volume, what will take place, will be either positive, means there is increase in the volume, or negative, means there is decrease in the volume. That depends upon the volumetric strain what you are getting based upon the load system, whether loads are compressive, tensile, or both compressive and tensile. We will take up a simple example here to determine the changes in the length, width and depth. Suppose if I consider a rectangular bar like this is a rectangular bar. So this is a square actually. You can take a rectangle or a square. This is a rectangular cross section. I have taken a bar like this. So this bar is subjected to a tensile force of 84 kilonewton. So the length of the bar is given to as 300 mm. Width of the bar is given to as 50 mm. Suppose if I take this as width as 50 mm. So this is 50, so this is also 50. And depth of the member, if I take it as 12 mm. So this depth is nothing but the thickness, I can also call thickness of the member. Now here you are required to find out the change in length, change in width and change in depth, and also you are required to find out what is the change in volume. So the data what you need here is Young's modulus. E is equal to 200 GPa. Poisson's ratio 1 by m is given to in the problem as 0.32. So with this data, you will have to determine the change in the length, width, thickness and volume of the bar. Now one thing is there, you know the load acting, normal load, and you know the area on which it is acting. So this normal load by area will give normal stress. You know Young's modulus. You can find out stress by strain is strain. You can find out the strain in the direction of the length. Once you know the linear strain, you know the Poisson's ratio. So lateral strain by linear strain will give you lateral strain. Once you know the lateral strain, you can find out the change in the width and depth. So we'll do one by one the steps here. So first we will go for area. Is cross-sectional area is 50 by 12. Cross-sectional area 50 by 12. So this will be equal to 600 mm square. Positional volume of the bar 50 into 12 into length is 300. This is the original volume of the bar, and this will be 18 into 10 to the power of 4 mm square. Sorry, mm cube. This is the volume mm cube. Now one by one we will find out the change in the dimensions. We will find out the change in the dimensions. So first we will go for linear stress. We know stress is given by load by area. Load what is given to you is 84, convert it in Newton, divided by area is 600. So you get the linear stress which is acting is 140 Newton per mm square. 140 Newton per mm square. You know Young's modulus, so I can find out linear strain. Linear strain means strain along the length. So this is EL will be equal to stress by Young's modulus. Stress by Young's modulus. So this is equal to 140 divided by Young's modulus is 200 GPa. I have told you just multiply it by 10 raised to 3 to convert GPa into Newton per mm square. You get this value as 7 into 10 to the power of minus 4. It has got no unit. It has got no unit. Once you know the linear strain, I can find out change in length. Change in length EL is equal to delta L by L. So change in length delta L into EL. So here the strain is 10 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into original length. So original length of the member is 300 mm. If you simplify this, you get increase in the length as 0.21 mm. 0.21 mm. Now once you know linear strain, you know Poisson's ratio. You can find out lateral strain. So let us find out here lateral strain. One by m is equal to E lat divided by E linear or longitudinal. So we know Poisson's ratio is 0.32. I want E lateral divided by, I know E linear. So E linear is 7 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So this will give me lateral strain E lat is equal to 2.24 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Once you know the lateral strain, you can find out change in width. Change in width will be E lat into original width. So E lateral is 2.24 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into original width. Original width is here 50 mm. So if you simplify this, you get 0.0112 mm. this change in width. So likewise, change in depth is equal to E lat into D. So this will be E delta B and this will be delta D. So E lat into D. So this will be equal to E lat is 2.24 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into original depth is 12 mm. So into 12. So you get a value of 2.688 into 10 to the power of minus 3 or 0.002688 mm. So you got the change in the length, change in the width and change in the depth. You have been asked to find out the change in volume. Change in volume. This is given by delta V and this is given by volumetric strain into original volume. We will find out what is the volumetric strain here. We have seen for a rectangular member, volumetric strain is given by strain in L, strain in B and strain in D. That is linear, lateral and lateral. So linear strain we have seen it is 7 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Lateral strain is same for B and D. So it will be plus. Lateral strain is 2.24 into 10 to the power of minus 4. So this is EB. Likewise this will be ED. So both are same. So I will multiply by 2. If this is positive, these two will be negative. So L1 minus twice of LB or EB or ED. So here if you multiply this, you get volumetric strain is equal to 2.52 into 10 to the power of minus 4 e to the power 10 to the power of minus 4. This value what we have got is positive, means there is increase in the volume. So change in volume delta V is volumetric strain into original volume. Volumetric strain is 2.52 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into original volume we have calculated, or you can calculate here. So this is 18 into 10 to the power of 4. If you simplify this, you get volumetric strain as 45.36 mm square. The value is positive, that means the volume is increasing. There is increase in the volume. So this is a type of problem we will be getting when the bar is subjected to single load. We will see further some more problems on this elastic constant chapter. Please subscribe the channel for more videos. Go for comment section for any queries. Press the bell icon for notifications. Thank you. We'll continue next video.